All right, hey everyone, Jeff here at stopthepirates.blogspot.com. And, if you're interested in buying a house today, of course, you have to have your good credit. You have to show that you don't need a loan for starters, and you have a substantial down payment. Where I live here in Southern California, statistically, only about 25% of the actual working people can afford to buy a house here. Because you would need to make two people earning a total of $125,000 to $150,000 per year just to be able to afford a house. Because a median single family residence is anywhere from I think a minimum $550,000 $600,000. So the majority of people are getting left out of the home buying process. And that's done on purpose because the United States corporation is bankrupt and they just keep borrowing more money and laying more debt onto the debt slaves, which gives you lower wages, stagnant wages. 30 years ago when I first started working, people are making the same amount of money as I did then. And, gas was 75 cents a gallon and rents were $500 a month. And now you just, even to rent a halfway decent place around here that's not in a Mexican barrio or something is $2,000 a month for a one bedroom. So it's incredibly, it's getting bad. So anyway, what you would want to do is fill out a loan application, which contains your Social Security number. And you'll notice on the promissory note that you would sign doesn't contain your Social Security number. And that goes in for your credit. So the bank wants to know if they can get you on the hook. And you'll actually make payments. Oh, it's interesting too. I was in the mortgage industry for quite a while. And when your loan funds to buy a house or refinance or whatever, they always take the first payment out of the loan proceeds. So, and they do that for a reason, because if you never made one payment, if you just bought a house and got a loan and just never made any payments, after, I think 120 days, you could just take possession of the house and never make any payments. Because when you make that first payment, you're tacitly agreeing to the contract. But you'll notice when you sit down to fill out this loan application, there's not someone on the other side of the table, saying, okay, we have a pile of money here for you and we're going to give you. It's a one-sided contract. And what you're actually doing is loaning the bank money, or whoever the lending institution is. So when you deposit your promissory note, which is the asset, with the loan application to the bank, it's like depositing a check. The bank gets authority from the Federal Reserve to enter a liability 3 days after your application goes in. And you can track it, the TT&L, the transactions between the bank and the Fed on the funds generated by your number, your Social Security number. The bank's kind of hems and haws a bit. And as far as your credit is concerned, about what kind of interest rate and all these types of things. But the fact is they want to make sure that they can sell your note and then sell actually the servicing rights to the mortgage, which in reality, if you look at the etymology of that word, it means death pledge. That's where the word mortgage comes from. So anyway, the note that you would sign would actually pay. I mean, you have unlimited amounts of credit which you can draw from. Was set up at your birth through this exemption account. But they want to make sure they can make double amounts of money. That's why when people ask me about, what can I do in my foreclosure case? Well, first thing you want to try is the produce the note technology, which I have detailed files on how you'd want to do that at stopthepirates.blogspot.com. So anyway, they hem and haw about, your interest rate and these types of things. Because what you're doing is you're creating a negotiable a negotiable instrument that's going to be traded on the equities market and bundled into any other kind of debt obligation, collateralized debt obligation type of financial products. And so the liability funds basically go to the seller and can't be fractionalized by the bank. Assets just sit in this account. Then you sign the promissory note, and that's where they get you. And it's a trust deed, so you're opening a trust account, and you're naming yourself as the grantor of that. So, you're the one that's maintaining it and putting money into it. And the security gets bundled with other securities. I'm talking about the note, bringing in payments every month. The bank then sells this security to an investor who buys it based upon the future value. Another ledger is created when you give them a down payment. It goes in as an asset, which is matched on the liability side, can be fractionalized, which is 10 times hypothecated. And this is what you default on. This is why they foreclose. This is what they foreclose upon. This is what they attach to your property. The deed of trust mentions the note is the security, and the promissory note and the house can come together on the deed of trust. This note is your promise to pay. The deed of trust is the security for the note. And the bank didn't loan you any money. The bank can't even create money. Only you can. And whenever you do, it's yours, as long as you don't abandon it for 36 months. After 36 months, the bank can fractionalize it. Even then, the Fed has to buy it from them. Actually, what happens is all the money that you pay on your mortgage goes into a escrow account, and either when you're done, you refinance or whatever, and you open a new contract or you sell the property, the bank waits 90 days and then goes in and asks the IRS, if someone abandoned these funds, can we keep it? And they allow them to keep it. When you're dealing with the IRS, they're always going to ask you about, if you call them on the phone and talk to them, they'll ask you, did you produce any income? How much income did you produce? And they always use the word income, not money, just income. And if you look up income in a law dictionary, it's capital gains, basically. So I always tell them, no, I didn't make any income. I'm not an investor or anything like that. Another good remedy too is doing writing a check on a closed checking account and doing an electronic wire transfer. And that's the only way you could do that. And then you could get hypothetically, you could get like a 10-day, 30-day payoff from your mortgage company, and then tell them you want to do an electronic funds transfer and use it on a closed checking account from a complete separate account, any accounts that you do regular business with. But it's worked, and it's worked well. People are afraid to do it, but I've seen a lot of people do it, and they get money back too. Bank sends them a check from their escrow account, but then from their taxes and insurance. Anyway, more interesting information about buying a house, if you want to, go to stopthepirates.blogspot.com. Thanks.